Hey there guys, this is my first review. This part's not scripted, but the rest of it will be. So, just first off, I'm going to review Borderlands, and mainly on this channel is going to be the Supernatural 101 videos. There's going to be my opinions on certain things, there might even be a few rants, probably going to be a few, special videos here and there, and there's definitely going to be a lot of game reviews like I'm doing now. So, let's kick my first review off and go into scripted mode. So, like I say, I've written all this down on a Word document so that I can just read a bit more fluently than I would normally. So, let's do this, guys. Borderlands. Borderlands includes character building elements found in role-playing games, leading Gearbox to call the game a role-playing shooter. At the start of the game, players select one of 4 characters, each with a unique special skill and with proficiencies with certain weapons. The 4 characters are Roland the Soldier, Mordecai the Hunter, Lilith the Siren, and Brick the Berserker. From then on, players take on missions assigned through non-player characters or from bounty boards, each typically rewarding the player with experience points, money, and sometimes a weapon. Players earn experience by killing both human and non-human foes and completing in-game challenges such as getting a certain number of kills using a specific type of weapon. As they gain levels from experience growth, players can then allocate skills into a skill tree that features 3 distinct specializations of the base character. For example, Mordecai can become specialized in sniping, gunslinging, and using revolvers, or using his pet Bloodwing to assist in kills and health boosting. Players can distribute points among any of the specializations and can spend a small amount of in-game money to redistribute their points. Players start the game with the ability to equip 2 weapons, but later gain up to 4 weapon slots, as well as slots for an energy shield, a grenade modification, and a class modification. Items collected can be sold back to vendors for money that can then be used to buy better items. One of the key features of Borderlands is the randomly generated weapons and items created either as drops by enemies or found in storage chests throughout the game, on the ground, or sold in vendors, or sometimes rewards for completing quests. The game uses a procedural content creation system to create these weapons and items, which can alter their firepower, rate of fire, accuracy, add in elemental effects such as the chance to set foes on fire or cover them in burning acid. At rare times, other special bonuses such as regenerating the player's ammo. A colour-coded scale is used to indicate the rarity of a weapon or item. It is estimated that the random system could generate over 17 million variations of weapons, but actually only resulted in a little over 3,500,000. The procedural system is also used to create the characteristic of random enemies the player may face. This allows enemies of the same species to have widely varying attacks. For example, variations of spider ants in the games could leap around and would jump on players' faces, while another variant can roll up into a ball and attack people, depending on the content generator. When in combat, the player can take damage if their shield is depleted, affecting their health. If they lose all their health, they must wait to be either revived by another player, or attempt to kill an enemy in order to achieve a second wind, or otherwise will be regenerated back to the last New You station they passed, losing a ratio proportionate percentage of their money in process. Players quickly gain access to 2 passenger vehicles and can engage in vehicular combat with other enemies. Eventually, a system of fast transit points between the game world is available to the player. Until then, players must walk or drive between areas to get around. The game can be played alone, but also supports 2-player cooperative through split screen on consoles, and up to 4-player cooperative online or over LAN. The game follows the progress of the host player, rewarding the other active players for completion for the quests of their characters. If the other players are doing the same quest in their campaign, the completed quests remain the same in their campaign as well as the hosts. When more players are present, the game alters the statistics of the generated enemies, balancing the game due to a large number of players. Players can take part in one-on-one duels anywhere in the game world, or can visit arenas in the game to participate in free-for-all, 2-on-2, 3-on-1 combat battles with their fellow players. So that's pretty much the gameplay all in the ball. Right, now I'm going to get onto the setting and the plot of the game. So I just want to say there is going to be a few spoilers if anyone cares. So if what I've already said makes someone want to go out and get the game and play it, do it now, because I'm going to start dishing out a few spoilers, I have a feeling. So here we go. Borderlands is set on the planet of Pandora, lured in by its apparent vast deposits of minerals. Several colonized ships sponsored by the Dahl Corporation, one of several diversified mega-corporations that appear to control and govern entire planets, journey to the planet and build settlements there. The mining operations are closely affected, manned by large amounts of convict labour brought to the planet by Dahl. Prior to the game's events, one of the mega-corporations, Atlas, found an ancient vault on a nearby planet, Prometheus, filled with advanced alien weapons technology that allowed them to rapidly overtake their competitors. The presence of similar alien ruins scattered across Pandora spurred Atlas to settle the planet in hopes of finding alien technology. However, Atlas failed to realise that Pandora was in its winter cycle, and the arrival of summer unleashes hordes of dangerous alien wildlife coming out of hibernation. Unable to find any alien technology, Atlas abandoned the planet. The Dahl Corporation then settled on the planet, starting massive industrial mining operations while undertaking their own search for a vault, headed by Patricia Tannis, a respected xenoarchaeologist. Despite all of her colleagues being killed by the planet's wildlife and being driven partially insane herself, Tannis managed to find proof of a vault on Pandora. News of her discovery reached Atlas, who sent private military force, the Crimson Lance, to capture Tannis and get the vault's location from her. Faced with an invasion, those who are rich and important enough to leave the planet do, with Dahl abandoning the rest of the population to scavenge for their living in isolated settlements in the barren wastelands and industrial trash heaps across the planet. To make matters worse, the Dahl Corporation simply opened the gates of the prison labour camps during their departure, and gangs of bandits terrorise the populace. Despite Dahl's failure to find it, the vault lives on in legends, attracting mercenary vault hunters to the planet. Borderlands begins sometime after the Dahl Corporation's abandonment of the planet Pandora, after several fortune seekers, including the player's character, arrive in search of the fabled vault. After searching the town of Firestone, the player begins to receive instructions from an image of a mysterious woman known as the Guardian Angel. The player meets a claptrap robot and a man named Dr. Zed, who help the player establish a reputation by killing several bandit leaders, eventually leading to the collection of the first alien artifact needed to open the vault. This causes Patricia... her name is so hard to say. Patricia Tannis, Dahl's former archaeologist, still in residence on the planet, to contact the player, revealing that the vault can only be accessed once every 200 years and that the time of the next opening is approaching. Tannis also explains that 3 more artifacts are needed to complete the vault key. Meanwhile, Commandant Steele of the Crimson Lance threatens to declare martial law and demands the vault key pieces. The player secures the second and third pieces by following Tannis' instructions, but the final piece turns out not to be where expected. Steele contacts the player to reveal that there are only 3 pieces and that Tannis has betrayed and misled the player. Steele then disables the planet's echo network, preventing further communication with the Guardian Angel and anybody else. The player infiltrates the Crimson Lance's headquarters and finds Tannis imprisoned. She claims she was forced into betrayal and urges the player to restart the echo network and to stop stealing the Crimson Lance before they reach the vault. After restoring the network, the Guardian Angel directs the player towards Steele's location. During the final approach to the vault, the player encounters Crimson Lance forces, already locked in combat with the vault's alien guardians. The player finally arrives at the vault, only moments too late to stop Steele from using the key. When the vault opens, a giant monster emerges and wipes out Steele and the rest of her troops. The Guardian Angel explains that the monster is called the Destroyer, and was imprisoned in the vault long ago by alien Iridians in order to prevent the destruction of the universe, and that the Guardians were posted to prevent anyone from opening it. Although the player defeats the monster, the vault is resealed for another 200 years. The Guardian Angel is revealed to be transmitting her signals through a Hyperion satellite in orbit above Pandora. The game ends with the satellite sending a signal to Claptrap, changing it into Interplanetary Ninja Assassin, continued in the plot of Claptrap's new Robo Revolution DLC. So guys, that's the general plot. Sorry for the spoilers, I did warn you. I've got 5 minutes left, so I'm going to try and just go over a few of the characters. So, there are 4 playable characters in the game, though each is given the character's official name by default. The player may change their name or the colours of various parts of their outfits at new use stations throughout the game. Brick is a berserker, a tank-style character who is strong in melee combat. Brick's preferred weapons are explosives and rocket launchers. Brick has the special ability to temporarily enter a berserk rage, during which he cannot wield guns. Instead of using guns, he uses his massive fist to rapidly pound his enemies to death and rapidly regenerates health. Besides being a melee expert, Brick can use explosive damage more efficiently than the other classes. Lilith is one of only 6 known sirens, along with Maya and Commandant Steel in the galaxy, beings with superhuman power. Lilith's phase walk allows her to temporarily enter another dimension, which renders her invisible to enemies, making her move faster, and she is unable to take damage from enemies, and can only give damage when exiting phase walk. Her phase walk causes a powerful shockwave blast that can damage nearby enemies whenever she enters and exits phase walk. Lilith's preferred guns are fire, acid, electrical, or explosive elemental tech weapons, and some of her skills focus on improving her damage over time with different elements. Mordecai, a hunter, specialises in using sniper rifles and revolvers, and is aided by his pet Bloodwing, an alien bird resembling a hawk, which can be used to assist in his long-range attacks and scavenge for loot. Roland, a former member of the Atlas Corporation's private Crimson Lance army, is described as the game as a soldier and is able to deploy an automated turret that can be upgraded in a wide range of offensive and defensive abilities, along with a support role for his teammates. Roland is a good freewheeler and prefers shotguns and combat rifles. Accompanying the standard weapons, all characters have a melee attack, and some weapons have a blade for added melee damage. How much time have I got left, I wonder? Not enough. So guys, that's basically the game in a nutshell. There are 4 different DLC for the game, 2 of which are amazing, 1 of which is less than amazing, and 4th, which is trash. However, the game is brilliant. I love it. It is literally one of my favourite games ever created, ever. So guys, get the game. If you enjoyed this review, please go ahead and subscribe. Comment, please. See you later. Bye-bye.